All right. Well, it's, you guys talk amongst yourself. We can start at 8:10. And my plan today is really, we can talk about arrays. We can talk about arrays, and then we can use arrays and looping and branching and do something cool. And hopefully, in the next half hour, someone will have a great idea what we can implement. Some kind of game. I think something that would be interesting for not only to implement. Yeah. So think about this. Think about an idea that can be implemented using arrays and only what we know so far, not any future stuff. And it needs to be implemented in, let's say, a half hour or so by one student, one or two students, okay? And not only should it be fun to implement and use all of the concepts that we've learned, but it should also be fun to run and play. So yeah, see if you can think up something like that, and I'll try and think up something like that also, while you guys are talking anyway, right? Obviously, if you have any questions.
I got a couple of questions.
Yes, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Some other students were wondering, are we in week 4 or 5 right now?
Are we in week 4? Wow, I actually don't know. Let's see. Let's. When do we start? We started on April 5th, right?
Yeah, the 5th.
Yeah, I think this must be 4, week 4. I think it's the start of week 4.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I should remember. I made a post. Was it a post on Reddit or no? It was an announcement on Canvas. I actually said this is the start of week 4, so you ought to be in this quest or something like that. Yeah. But I just realized like a half hour ago that there's an error in that post. I said the free state is this Monday. In that post, did I say the free state is? Or maybe I'm confusing your announcement with my 2C announcement. Yeah, I kind of raised a false alarm that scores are going to get frozen on Monday, but you're going to have to complete the quests 1 to 4 anyway to move forward. So you might as well get points for that. I think that was just what I was trying to say. And obviously that was a false alarm, right? Because I think it's a week before the midterm. It's a Sunday before the midterm, not next Monday. I think we're good.
That answers some other question. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. No worries. And yeah, you guys should feel free to, if you have any other questions you want to ask, feel free to ask, because, as long as we don't want to dive into arrays yet, okay? So I think we'll dive into arrays, the core of the class around 8:15. Until then, we'll just have a friendly banter. Hey, Mark, is that like a squirrel? Do you have a squirrel?
No, this is a cat. She
okay. All right. I thought a squirrel was sitting on you.
Yeah, she keeps jumping on me here, and then jumping off, and then jumping back on. I think her goal is to slap me with her tail as many times as she can.
That is so funny, because the coloring and everything looks just like a squirrel.
She's got a really fluffy tail.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, Chris.
So quests 1 through 5 should be done before the first exam, right?
Actually, is it 1 to 5 or 1 to 4?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, it'll say in the syllabus. Yeah, before the exam. Honestly, I would say finish it 1 week before the exam.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think you need a week to just chill and focus on the exam, on just the concepts. Yeah, finish up the quests 1 week before the exams.
So would they be due this Monday or next Monday? I mean,
no. It is Sunday before the midterm.
Oh, okay. Sunday.
So I think it is the end of week 5, the end of next week. Yeah, but try and shoot for the end of this week, so that next week you can start looking at concepts.
So we're looking at 5/9. is the end of
Actually,
week.
yeah, someone should probably,
Is week
you shouldn't ask me for these date calculations. I mean, if I'm off by a few days, that is like serious, right? Because
Week 4 is the 2nd. Week 9 is the 9th.
yeah,
Let's see.
but don't, yeah. So my recommendation is don't put it off till the last minute. And in fact, I used to have a running joke for a very long time in my face-to-face classes. And students ask me, why are all your labs, that time it was labs and not quests, right? So you have to submit and then I have to grade. So they ask me, why are your labs due at 11:59, right? Why don't you just say midnight? Say, well, it was midnight before, but then everybody started doing things in the last minute. So I took that last minute away now. So it's now due at 11:59. But with quests, you actually get time, but in your own interest, I think you will have a great deal more fun getting it done by this and end of this week. Yeah, is that okay? Hey, Ricardo, did you figure out? I think we had a problem last week when we tried to share your screen. So try and go today sometime, okay? You don't have to go first, but figure out your issues and was it Zoom?
Yeah, so I only have the option to share screen, photos, iCloud Drive, website URL, bookmark, and whiteboard. But I don't have any subset menus. It just goes straight to screen, which is fine. I could just turn off the notifications.
Yeah, not just yet. We'll start about 5 minutes or so, right? So you can take the screen first then, today.
Okay.
And then who else we got? Hang on. Why am I in? Why one person showing up the whole screen? Wait 1 second. I need to figure out. Oh, I'm in speaker mode. Okay, so gallery gives me all of you. All right, good. Okay. Yeah, someone else.
Anand, I would love to
Elizabeth.
give it a try.
Oh, you haven't
taken
gone. Oh, you know what,
No.
Elizabeth? I kind of was just blindly assume every class that okay, well, not Mark, Elizabeth, or some of you guys because you're vocal, and then I just mistakenly assumed that you're also coding. Yeah, sure. So we have Elizabeth, Ricardo. Isaiah also hasn't gone. And then from that point, maybe Chandi has actually gone first time. The first week. Oh, Harry, is that first? I haven't seen you before in class. Is this your first class?
Oh, sorry, I didn't change my name. Hao Yuan.
Well, I'm sorry. No. What is it? Yeah, is this your first class or not?
No.
No, he's been here before.
Oh, you've been here before. Oh, you didn't use the camera?
Yeah, my name is Hao Yuan.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm so sorry, man. No, I just got fixated on the name and then I saw Harry and I didn't even look at your face. Okay, all right. Good.
Hey, Anand. So when are the quests going to be frozen when we have our midterm, or is it sometime before or after that?
That's what I said. Let's aim for the Sunday before the midterm, so you have 1 week starting from the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those 4 days you can just dedicate to thinking about the midterm, or not doing anything, with your hands. I think that really helps before a midterm. Just to be thinking, maybe browsing and looking and reading is fine. But if you're coding at this stage, right? I won't say that maybe not for 2C, but what I found on average so far is that in 2A, if you're coding the week before the midterm, you tend to get lost in trenches. Right, and so you're basically focusing too much on a particular kind of a bug. A bug is basically right, and you do get a sense of satisfaction at the end, saying, "Okay, I've aced that bug. Now I'm ready for the midterm." But really, you've just dug a trench very deep, and it gives you a false sense of reassurance. And maybe you need to get bitten by that. But here's an experience from past students that I'm just passing on. Okay, maybe try it out. Try it out. I would say try and get rid of everything that you have to code before the Sunday. So you get 4 days of not coding. Not having to code. I shouldn't say not coding, but not having to code. And don't get lost in a bug. Don't get that last week before the exam, you shouldn't really be debugging, right? And I think and again, the issue is the same, right? When you're debugging, you're just focusing on one thing, not on many things. And midterm is going to test you on many things. So, and obviously the same thing applies to me, right? Because in a midterm, I can't ask you a question very deeply on one particular topic. Then, the midterm hasn't done its job, right? So I can't afford to go deep in any topic. So, think of it from a teacher's perspective now, and you'll get a lot of insight into how these questions are created in midterms, right? So teachers cannot really, although we'd love to, right? I mean, we'd love to have you guys for, a 10-hour exam for you guys, because every topic I'm going to tell you really deep, right? Because, that'll turn into a PhD. No, not a PhD, right? So some heavy duty course. So what we can do is we can't afford that. So what we say is that we're going to make a compromise here. We cannot test anyone deeply. So we're going to test to make sure that everybody is at level 2 at least, right? Not level 5 or level 6, but level 2. So we can't afford to go deep. Maybe lots of people are at level 2, but I can't afford to test them, right? Because each one is very expensive. So from a teacher's perspective, to maximize the ground we cover, we can't afford to go deep into any one topic, right? So we got to go shallow. So keep that in mind, and then you'll know, right? So debugging is a wrong thing to try just before an exam.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so you guys, carry on a conversation, right? So about 2 or 3 minutes more, and then maybe Ricardo can pick up the screen. And oh boy, yeah, okay, 2 or 3 minutes more. Okay, I'll just stop, mute and thing. I'll try and think of something too, if you guys can't think of an interesting game. All right, so I'm going to mute for a couple of minutes. Okay, I'm just going to be around here, and I'll come back. Okay, you guys carry on, talking.
So, can I think of games that use arrays? I'm drawing a blank, frankly.
There's a tic-tac-toe, hangman.
Oh yeah.
But they look super long.
Yeah, the evaluation step of a tic-tac-toe is going to be about as in-depth as Conway's Game of Life.
Here we go. Tic-tac-toe.
But a tic-tac-toe game would be pretty straightforward with in terms of what kind of array you're using on a 3x3 situation.
Yeah, it's quite long.
I suspect that the logic of Hangman will be easier. What do you guys think? And by guys, I mean like men and women. It's old habit.
Hangman.
All right. Okay, good. So I have a pretty cool idea. I think Yeah, okay, so let's, we can try one of you guys. Maybe Ricardo has an idea when he starts coding too. That's perfectly fine, right? So we either go with what the driver wants to do, or if the driver doesn't have an idea, what we'll do is the driver starts with a blank slate, and then one of us will call, we'll start coding our idea. I think that might be a workable strategy. Okay, Ricardo, anytime you're ready, just pick up the screen, open up an editor. What are you going to use, by the way? Is it going to be yeah, let's use
the online editor?
Yeah, this was the issue we had before, Ricardo. Hey, no, you're recording the whole screen or something, right? You got to stop. What's all right, we got to figure that out, okay? Was that you? Are you able to share your screen, by the way, without what's it doing? Is that because I don't see that, right? I'm just worried that you may be recording things that you don't want to record, right? Maybe your social security number or something is up there.
Oh no, I have all that off, all the notifications off. Let me see if I can do a website.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you go to number 2, right? Why don't we start with someone and then come back to you, Ricardo? Okay. Try and get this right by then. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. So who's going next? Is it who is it? Elizabeth or Isaiah or who else we got? I don't know.
I'm gonna go grab my laptop.
Yeah, sure. Hey, Elizabeth, you wanna go?
Yeah, I don't know how to code.
Who? Isaiah?
Yeah.
Was that you, Isaiah?
I can go.
Right. No, but I thought I heard someone say, I don't know how.
Yeah, that's what Isaiah said.
Hey, Isaiah. All right. So hey, Elizabeth, let Isaiah go now. And then you can go next. All right. And then Ricardo. All right. So, hey, Ricardo, you got one position number 3 now. Okay. So we're doing a circular thing. So, hey, Isaiah, here's what we'll try and do. Okay. You don't have to understand anything at all today. Just type in, and this whole thing is going to be recorded. Right? Hey, Isaiah, are you here? How are you listening to me? All right. So, and by the way, your camera switched. A whole bunch of you have got your camera switched off. Okay. Yan and Maxim and Andrew and David and Isaiah. All right. Turn on your cameras. Only the person who's going to go, like, Elizabeth is going to share the screen. No, she can do that now. Okay. Isaiah, here's what you can do. Let's try this experiment. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are in the same boat as you, and I'm so glad that you said I don't know how to code, okay? Because nobody says that, and then I can't just assume, and right, it's no use because there's always a few people who will know, right, in every class, and we can't say I'm just going to march with them. And whether I march with them or not, they're gonna go. All right, they're gonna reach the finish line. Okay, so it doesn't matter to me. And so what I need to do is, it does matter to me in a fun kind of way. But what matters more is, if make a difference is the guys, the half of the class who can't code. And thank you so much for actually saying that. Okay, because. Yeah, until I had the courage to own up to things that I didn't know, I didn't learn them. All right, and so thank you. So here's the experiment we're going to try and do. Isaiah, we'll just start with a blank slate, and you don't have to understand a single word of what we say. We'll just say every single thing, right? Either me or Elizabeth, right? Or whoever, right? We'll start with a simple game. We'll start with a simple game, and today, which will use arrays and branching and if and everything. All right. We're going to brainstorm. A lot of it is not going to be doing with coding, right? But you're going to have this screen open. Hey, Isaiah, is this your screen? Great. Okay, thanks. Great. All right. So we're just going to be looking at this, and we're going to be talking and brainstorming, amongst ourselves. It's going to be fun. And then we'll arrive at a strategy. Well, basically, we're going to decide on what we're going to code, what game. And then we'll arrive at a strategy, all of them done verbally, which means you don't need to know C++. It's just, human conversation. We're just having a conversation about this and arrive at a strategy and say, this is what we're going to do. And then once we decide what we're going to do, we're just going to call out the code. right? Basically translating the mental mush we have into some C++ tokens. That's essentially that's happening at that point. It's basically an automaton, right? So the human part of it is what is hard, and this exercise is geared towards reminding each and every one of us that the hard part of programming you already have. All right, the easy part of programming is what you're trying to learn, right? The hard part of programming is trying to solve a problem, right? And that we know how to do as humans. And if we think about it long enough, right, you don't need someone else to teach you. Essentially, that's, well, someone else can teach you a faster way to solve a problem. Maybe you use this algorithm, it'll get you the answer in 10 minutes instead of 10 eons, right? Okay, so someone can teach you a faster way to solve a problem, but how to solve a problem is something that every person knows, right? And they have to just remind themselves, I think. This is a hypothesis, a theory anyway, right? And I don't know where we're going with that. But essentially, you don't have to know anything. And then later on, you can watch the recording and you remember that, hey, that is me typing. I was typing, right? I was typing, and yeah, okay, this problem was, that was a hard problem. The hard part was basically coming up with a solution, right? And then we came up with it, right? So it just not like it was given to us. We came up with it, right? And so that means everybody had the solution in them. And they came up with it. And the easy part is, and the funny thing is, everybody out there thinks that this is the hard part. All right, as everybody, most programmers or most self-styled programmers out there you talk to in a conversation, right, you gather that they got their minds completely switched over. They think that the hard part is the easy part and the easy part is the hard part, right? So many people think that learning a particular language is hard, right? And then solving a problem easy. I've been doing that ever since I was a kid. And but it's not like that at all, right? And in fact, even in terms of tastiness, right, the tastiness and the juiciness, it's the hard part that is juicy too, right? Not the shallow. And I think lots of people think the solving a problem easy, right? Translating to C++ hard, so I'm going to go and learn C++, enroll in 2A, 2B, right? No, that's not the whole idea, right? So the idea here is that learning a language is easy once you know how to solve a problem. It's just translating it. But solving a problem doesn't mean I'm going to hire this person and put these things together. No, solving a problem means, at least in your mind, solving it down to the nuts and bolts, right? In your mind, you know what needs to get done, right, down to the detail, right? Whether you actually do it or not, you can do it at mental speed, which is really, really fast, right? And say, all right, but that can't be done by me, or this can be done by humans, and put these pieces together, you pull these, but in your mind, right? So that's the hard part, and you don't need a computer for that. And but lots of people think that's the easy part, right? And so you have lots of these CEOs, especially in the Bay Area, right? They have an idea and they think they've got the problem, right? They think they've got the easy problem or the hard problem or whatever. I don't know where I was going with that. Maybe I've, mixed metaphors and analogies, tend to land you in a soup sometimes. All right, so let's go here. So what are we going to try and, so I heard some interesting ideas floating around. I also have an idea, and then we can toss them all around, and then we can pick and choose. Okay, we can pick and choose, and we'll implement one of those. So the criteria we should use are, you should use arrays in some form. It should use arrays, and then branching and looping, right? Which we'll just build into, right? We will build into, because you'll find that most of the things that you do will involve branching and looping, right? So we don't have to focus on these explicitly from now on. Okay, from now on, in fact, the funny thing is, even though Isaiah has to write these comments and things, even if he gets rid of a comment, it's there now because it'll be in the YouTube video, right? Until the point where Isaiah deletes it, it'll still be there. The comment is still there, so it's kind of cool. It's a live, living program. Yeah, and so and the cool thing is that even if Isaiah does not understand a word of what he's typing now, some other time when he plays the video, he can know, and he can remember back to the time that he was typing and everything, and put things together, right? So it's kind of cool. So it's going to experiment, and then Isaiah can chime in later on, maybe in a few years or a few months, right? And you say, hey, you know what? That experiment we did on that day in April was actually a really cool experiment because it turned out to be useful. Okay, and so it might be a teaching paradigm, right? It may be a teaching paradigm, or an example, or this is something in there that could be distilled out. All right, so let's start with, I'm pretty sure I heard, I don't know, some interesting games being mentioned. Which one? I think. All right, go for it. If not, I'll also explain mine. This is it's like mine is like the Price is Right, right? This is Price is Right. The computer is just going to pick a price between $0 and $100, and then all the class students, us basically, we're going to say, hey, Mark says it's $47, and Anand says it is $22. Chinese, and then after all the contestants have said the prices, and the computer has to select, okay, Chinese the winner. She said it is $4.77, right? The actual price is $4.99. All right, but there's a lot of subtlety involved here, because I think there's the looping, obviously, and user input, output, and decision making, but also I think collecting all of the user responses. I think in an array, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. We don't actually have to use an array here. I don't know. So maybe we have to rethink this. Okay. So I was thinking, collecting the responses and finding out the differences from the true value, and then ranking them, right? Or not even picking the least, right? Picking the minimum, right? So yeah, Mark is off by 10 cents, or Chanyi is off by 2 cents, and Anand is off like 0 cents, right? And so on and so forth. But then you got to find a minimum, right? So the person who was the least amount away from the true price is the winner. I don't know, lame ass game. All right, maybe it'll be a fun game. I don't know. Who knows? Because we can also do this in JavaScript, right? And you can actually have a web app just doing this game with sound effects and graphics in less than a day, online, ready to go, right? So it's pretty straightforward. Actually, that's pretty cool, isn't it? If any of you wants to do a web app, you don't even have to have a server. You just need to have an account on some cloud service provider, right? And yeah, you can basically just, once we write the game in C++, it'll just be like 5 minutes to translate that into JavaScript and put it on the web. It'll probably be 5 days to collect all the graphics and the media and play around with the sounds and things like that. But that's a fun 5 days. But you can actually have a game, online game that Price is Right online. You can have that going in just a couple of days. Okay, so yeah, hey, Isaiah, let's also clean this up. So after the first sentence, after the word looping, just go on to the next line and start a new comment, so that we don't wrap around too much, right? Yeah. Start a new comment there. So that's the first idea. Oh, I see. They're creating a game. Okay, that's number one. Idea number one. Let's say that's idea number one. Let's also collect a couple of other ideas and then implement one of those, right? So let's say that's idea number one. And then I think a cool exercise would be that because this code is going to be shared eventually, right? I mean, Isaiah will hit the get URL thing, and that'll be shared. So you guys can all fork the code and say, all right, so we did idea number one in class. Now let's do idea number two, idea number three, and so on and so forth. And we also structure the code in such a way that multiple ideas can be implemented and so on. Okay, so I think it'll be pretty cool. Anyway, in my mental simulation, it looks pretty cool. So let's see it plays out that way. Any other ideas? Yeah, hit enter and a blank comment, and then let's start idea number two. We should have at least 2 ideas, guys. I mean, right? At least 2. Connect 4. Oh, connect 4 dots. Wow, that is actually really cool. That is cool. Hey, whose idea is this, by the way? Whose idea is this? Oh, see, maybe is it Isaiah's idea? Because he's the one. You can't talk. You can't talk, right? You have some weird problem.
What about tic-tac-toe?
No. Connect 4. I think. Connect 4 is the name. Is the name. All right, Connect 4. But who came up with that idea? Isaiah. Hey,
yes, me. Sorry about that. I'm typing. I'm trying to stay on it.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, I know. I also know that you have this weird problem, just like Ricardo too, right? So some tech issue. But I don't know exactly what the issue is. But anything that goes wrong, I can basically point, pin on that issue. All right. Okay.
I figured mine out.
Okay, great. So you can go after Elizabeth.
Right.
After Isaiah, I'm pretty sure Elizabeth can go either this class or first day. Not a big deal. All right, so we got a bunch of ideas. If anybody else has any cool ideas.
Hangman?
Hangman? Hangman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Hangman. All right. Idea 4. And also at the top. All right. Let's actually clean up the comments. Yeah, at the top, just say ideas to implement. Ideas to implement. And then, put a blank line above that so that it's separated from the L-E-M-E-N-T, I-M-P-L-E-M-E-N-T. Yeah, and a blank line before that, so that it's separated from the namespace thing.
Wait, what were you saying?
Now I put a blank line before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after. Yeah, and then let's fix the spelling for implement. It's I-M-P-L-E-M-E-N-T. Yeah, the I needs to be turned into an E. All right, and then put a colon after the line so that these are the ideas we're going to try and implement. And then the person closest to the actual price actually belongs to the first bullet, right? So indent that like under the creating a game, the line number 7. Line number 7. Yeah, not the whole thing, not the whole thing. Just put the comment back, right? Just the line THE. Yeah, push the THE under the creating, so that because it belongs to the first bullet, right? So it's easy. It reads easier. Yeah, push it in. No, you have the cursor right there. Yeah. The cursor before the T. Yeah, push it in. Push it in like 4 spaces. One more. Oh, you're hitting tab. Are you hitting tab?
Yes.
No. Space, not tab. No, yeah, okay, that's fine. It looks all right. Yeah, it just needs to be separated from 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so we got at least 4 ideas. We'll pick one, implement it today. Someone else can implement something else, and then share all of this on Reddit. So how much time we got? We got a lot of time today. It's just 8:30. We got like almost a whole class, right? I can't believe we talked about so much, and it's hardly like a half hour. Actually, just 15 minutes into class, which is kind of cool. And thank you so much for your patience, Isaiah. Right, but you're going to have to hang around with this, with the screen a lot, right? Because most of the class, what we're doing is just talking, and then we code when we absolutely have to, right? Because the most fun code is basically just executed in our heads. All right. So if nobody else wants to go, I can just go. We can just create the first game, which is The Price is Right, and then someone else who wants to do. I don't want to do Connect 4 online because I'm pretty sure that when I try and do live, when we live code Connect 4, there might be a bunch of decisions we make and then backtrack, and it's going to be a little bit of a mess to just live code Connect 4. What would be nice is if someone does Connect 4 in their own time, right after class. Connect 4, unless it is so damn simple that you can actually live code, that's fine too, right? You can take over the screen and live code with Isaiah or Elizabeth, whatever, or Elizabeth or someone else, right? Yeah, but I'm not brave enough to just take on Connect 4 right now. Mainly because I don't know the game so much, I guess. Because I'm pretty sure there are lots of strategies, right? Because I've played with my niece at one point, and she was kicking my ass every single time. So yeah, so there must be some strategy that I just haven't even respected enough to think about.
I think The Price is Right is going to be the one that's going to be the shortest program, and wouldn't be too hard on the logic side. Even tic-tac-toe is going to be a few more lines, I suspect.
You think so? Well, you think about it. So these things that are harder don't have to be live, right? So you can do it in your spare time after class, and then say, hey, that simple Price is Right thing we did in class, that was just one of the functions. We have like 5 functions here: idea 1, idea 2, idea 3, idea 4, and then I did idea 4, and here's the link, right? And so you can do that too. Let's say, once we build out the, all right, so let's build out the shell, Isaiah. All right, so go under is using namespace standard, hit enter a couple of times. I'll just talk him through this, right? And it's basically the shell. And then when it comes to filling pieces in, we'll all start chiming in, right? So we just have some kind of a framework to work through. All right, so under go to line 13. Go to line 13, and say. All right, let's make all these games return no returns, right? Each of these ideas is basically void. All right, so just say void idea 1, void idea, idea underscore one. I know idea underscore one, idea underscore one, and then open parentheses, open parentheses, open parentheses and close parentheses. Now, oh, not open code. Yeah, open parentheses, close parentheses. That's what is it?
Shift 9.
Yeah, shift 9 and shift 0, shift 9. And what I tend to do is also not have a space before the there, yeah, right. I tend to do that. Now, one space more. Yeah, okay, on the next line is fine too. Open with a brace, open curly brace. That is
Yeah, one second.
Shift square bracket. Okay, and then people ask, where's the square bracket? Now you're totally stuck, right? So yeah, okay. Now close it too, and close it on that line.
What?
Yeah, just open and close. What we're doing is basically, this is what I do, right? You don't have to do it this way, right? Now get the closing on the next line. Open here, close here. Okay, why is it indented in? Push it back onto the first. Okay, so this part here is basically my function template, right? So I can have lots and lots of those, and every idea that I have is going to be implemented within those, right? So now copy lines 13, 14, and 15. So here's what, yeah, just drag and copy or something like that. Copy. Yeah, okay. All right, copy Command C or is this a Mac? Is this a Mac? Hey, it's a Mac, isn't it? I don't know, one of those. Yeah. How many ideas we had? I don't know, 4, 5, maybe. I don't know. 4. Yeah, do 5 also. I know 4. Well, I think we have 4 ideas. Okay, now at the top of the first idea, I have a comment, right? At the top, right at the top of the first idea, I have a blank line there. Blank, yeah, okay. And then blank line. No, it's separated from the namespace. Hey, I think you had something before the namespace, right? Using namespace. Did you have something before the? Didn't we say? And it's not. Well, what happened to all the? Oh, I see. We're all. I keep thinking that's line 1. You have more lines about that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Right, but it's not. It's not the price is right. Right. It's yeah. Get rid of that line. Yeah. It's not line number 8. Yeah? We're going to implement one of those ideas. Triple click on the line. 3 clicks. Is the easiest thing to do is 3 clicks and then delete. Yeah. Okay. 11. Yeah. Okay. On line 12. Line 12. At the end of line 12, I say this is idea number 1. Which is the price is right, right? And then you can attach that comment to idea 1. Basically, remove that blank line under that. This is idea number 1, which is price is right. Yeah, and then remove the blank line. So that that. All right. Now copy the comment, put it under idea 2, and describe what that idea is. Is everybody following along? What we're trying to do really is trying to build the skeleton, right, of what the rough framework for what we're trying to do. Is everybody okay with this? If people are kind of confused as to what we're trying to do here, this is the time you should chime in, or you should say, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, and then we'll do it, right? And you can basically follow what Isaiah is doing right now. Yeah, and he's typing in these comments. And when he's done, what are we going to do next? Yeah, and then after that, we'll just, we'll do a main. We'll do a main after this. So we'll do a main, which will call one of those ideas. But when you're done, right, you should let me know, right? So I'm not even looking at the screens. I'm sorry. Yeah. I was just thinking if I spoiled Peter too much. See, I gave him a lollipop yesterday. And then today he just refused to eat the apples.
Sounds like you're gonna have a diabetic squirrel.
All right, yeah, cool. So have you done all of the ones, all 4 ideas? Now, right at the bottom, let's do our main, right? Right at the bottom. Blank line there. And then say, int main, right? And so Isaiah said he didn't know the code, by the way. All right, but I'm pretty sure there are lots of people in this class who can't even code, at all, right? So Isaiah said he doesn't know the code, and he's basically just typing out all these tokens, right, without anybody prompting him. But there are students in this class who are worse off, but who are not speaking up.
I don't know how to complete a code.
Yeah, that's all right. That's like, you're talking about, yeah, you know everything, you're just missing 1 or 2 pieces, right? So you can't say you're missing everything, right? So but there are lots of students, right, who are missing and they're not even speaking up, but but thankfully, right, because you said you didn't know the code, now other students are also going to follow along and know that, okay, well, it's possible to do these things, even though I don't know the code. There's no harm in just going and trying things out. It's kind of cool. All right, so int main, and then open brace, and let's create the body, and then we'll start filling in the body. All right, and in the body, what we're trying to do is essentially is to ask the user, which game do you want to play, right? Numbers 1 to 4, right? 1 to 4, and then you can decide, and then say if they want to play number 1, then you call idea 1, idea 2, idea 3, and so on, right? So that's all we're going to do. All right, so on the next line, get rid of the standard cout. Go on the next line. Go on the next line. Right? Yeah, okay. Here, type stand : cout. In fact, we're using namespace standard, right? So you don't have to type the std : right? So cout, say which game do you want to play? Enter game number or queue to quit. Yeah, enter game number or queue to quit. Yeah. Or something.
Would we use a switch statement here, or would it be better to use?
Good idea. Let's try and use a switch. Who said that? Chris?
Yeah, me.
All right, thanks. Let's try and use a switch. All right, cool. All right. Now let's put the whole thing in a loop too, right? So go right to the top of main, right? Not to, to line 34, right? Say 33 and hit enter, and just say while true. Just say while true. Put the whole thing in a while loop, infinite while loop, because you going to keep on asking the user what they want to do, right? Until
Wait, how do you put it in a loop?
Yeah, say while.
While loop?
Yeah, while. And then don't have a space. Well, you can if you want. And then parentheses for the condition, right? You're going to have a condition there, and then get rid of the loop, L-O-O-P. Now we're just going to say, instead of loop, we're going to say true. Okay, true. And then lowercase, right? Because C++, by the way, is actually case sensitive, right? The capital means different than, all right? And then on the same line, this is just a style that I follow. On the same line, space, and then curly brace. Great. Okay. Now the cout actually belongs to the while, so indent it by 4 spaces. Not there. Backspace all the way back. Okay. Now on the next line, the cout on the next line. Take that to the previous line. No, take that to the previous line. To the previous line.
Oh.
Yeah, right. No. Not enter now. Now go to the beginning of this. Yeah, hit enter. Great. Okay. So it just says, what game do you want to play? No, I think you were pushing it too much inside, right? So just leave it where it was. Don't, because you will find that you may have to indent in more, right? So leave it just for. Yeah, I think that's where it was. Okay, great. Now here, one thing that I like to do is don't put the new line at the end, right? Get rid of the /n. And besides, it's not even inside the quotes, right? Get rid of the /n, right? And then put a space after the question mark, right? Question mark. No, after the question mark. But after, I think we should also give them a hint, right? And before the question mark, within brackets, let's give them a hint, right? So 0 to 4, 0 to quit, 1 to 4 to 1 to 4 to play, 0 to quit, right? So we're going to give them a hint, so that also a space before the parentheses, because it's English, right? So okay. So 1 to 4 and 0 to quit, 1 to 4 and 0 to quit, and space and 0 to quit. To quit. And then close the parentheses. Yeah. All right. Now, yeah, semicolon there. Semicolon. No, right at the end of the line. Right at the end of the line. Yeah. Now on the next line. On the next line. Yeah. On the next line, you can say. What do we? I think what we should do is just we'll just trust the user to type a number. Okay. So at the top of the while loop, right? After the while true and the curly brace, hit enter one time. At the end, no, not there. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, put it back. Well, okay. At the end of the line, go to the end of the line and hit enter. No, previous line. End of the previous line. So
this one?
Yeah, there, exactly. Yeah, hit enter. Now we're going to declare a variable called user choice. Okay, so say int space, this is an integer, which is an int space, a user underscore choice, right? Semicolon. No, int space bar, right? Not the word space. So int, yeah, space, user underscore choice. Yeah, semicolon. Okay, enter. Yeah, enter. Okay. Now we're going to accept input from the user into the user choice. So on the next line after cout, right? Go to the end of the cout line, end of the cout line, right? Yeah, hit enter, and then cin, and then right shift into that user choice variable. No, you have to right shift now because you're getting from the keyboard, not sending to cin, right? So yeah, you got to use the right shift operator. And what I tend to do is actually have, because it's an operator, I tend to have one space on either side, right? So cin, and then space, right shift. Yeah, okay, and then user underscore choice. Right, semicolon, right there. What happened to the? I think your is it my mouse or yours? Yeah, it's a semicolon, and then what? Is clean up the line a little bit more, if you don't mind, to put a space before after the cin, after the word cin, insert a space. After the word cin, insert a space. Right. Okay, and then the cout, insert a space before the double quote. Also, I think that might look nicer. I don't know. It's up to you, right? You guys can. Yeah. I think that looks much better. That's much better, actually. Yeah, Isaiah, thank you so much. Alrighty, go to the next line. Now you can do what Chris suggested. In fact, Chris can actually walk you through this, right? So, Chris, why don't you walk Isaiah through this? So, what you're going to do is switch on user choice, right? For 0 and default, you're going to quit. Right, break out of the loop. You're gonna break out of the loop, right? You're not breaking out of the switch statement. So you're gonna have break and break. You're gonna be stuffed here. Okay, so you gotta try and figure out an easy way to get out of this soup. Figure it out. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. You're gonna call the respective games. Okay, so Chris is gonna walk Isaiah through this.
Okay, so
back line. Hit enter. All right.
So the first thing you want to put is the switch keyword. So it's just switch, or just lowercase switch.
Yeah, all lowercase. By the way, Isaiah, this is C++ is case sensitive, right? So, well, maybe your keyboard is or something is not, right? Maybe it's capitalized in the first letter.
And then you want to put the open and close parentheses, and that's where you want to put your expression.
So 1 to 4.
Would it be while true as well, Professor?
I'm sorry, what is it? So here, oh, I see. So it's a switch space. Yeah, like he's got inside. He says user switch on user choice, right? So you just say user choice. You say user underscore choice. Yeah, and then at the end, now you're going to have all the different cases for values of user choice, right? So space, and then start the curly brace. It's a block. Well, it's a curly brace means no, not there, not that. It's a curly brace. It's start a block. It's the curly brace starts a block. Everything between curly braces is one block. So we're going to start the switch block. Yeah. Okay. All right. Enter.
And then you want to.
What is
Open and close.
what is the usage of switch? What is
Yeah,
that?
I can see through. Yeah, I gotta get the glasses. Hang on.
Oh,
I think he put the
basically,
square
what's
bracket, not the. It looks like a square brackets to me, not curly brace. Yeah, he put the square brackets there. So hey, Isaiah,
Which
change
one's the curly brace?
curly brace. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So I was actually looking, it was reading right with those glasses too. All right, but this
so
was,
after the curly. Oh,
enter.
Is
so
Yeah.
after
that
the curly
brace?
braces.
Curly brace and then enter. Curly brace, enter. Hit enter. All right.
And then you want to put
previous line. You got a blank line there. Don't waste lines. Go to the line 42. Okay, there.
Then you want to put case, so CASE.
All lowercase, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all lowercase.
All
And then you
lowercase,
want to,
right?
yeah, all lowercase. And then you want to put single
Okay.
quotes, and then just put in
Space.
between those single quotes, you just want to put 1.
No. So yeah, so here, hang on. All right, so that's a very common mistake. Lots of people make. So yeah, it's very natural to make. So here we're not testing for the ASCII value 1, right? Within single quotes, it means that the character 1, right? The character 1 has the ASCII value, I don't know, 48, 49 or something like that. So we read into an integer. So that is going to have the integer value. So you can actually say case 1. No, case 1. 1 colon 1 case 1. So if user choice is equal to 1, colon there. Yeah. No, not there. No, it's colon. You just say this is a syntax, right? The switch case has a weird syntax, right? We got to get used to it, right? Pretty much the same in every other language also, right? Enter. All right, now indent in. Sometimes people don't indent in, right? So I don't know how it works. Right, case 1. So everything we do now belongs to case 1 until we break out of it. So the case 1 is going to call the first game. What was the game? Idea 1, right? So just say idea underscore 1. No, it's got to be all lowercase. Well, so something is your keyboard, or something is, or maybe you got into the habit of always capitalizing the first letter.
Yeah, I do.
So it's going to be just so you know how you did all these voids up here, idea underscore, 1, idea underscore 2.
Yes.
So it's going to just match because we're calling these functions that we've declared up at the top. So you're going to write it in the same exact way because we're referencing those. Yeah.
You're invoking that function.
Yeah.
Idea 1, and then open, close parentheses, and semicolon. Open, close parentheses, semicolon. And then on the next line, you say, I'm done with case 1. I want to break out of it. So you have to say break. It's very, very important in switch statement to use the word break when you say that I don't want to automatically execute the next case also, because the case is only determined where you enter, right? The logic. After you enter, until you break out of it, you're going to execute everything underneath. So that's why I don't like, sometimes for beginners, switch is more confusing. All right, and a semicolon after the break. Enter. Now you can do the same thing for case 2, 3, 4, and then did we have 4 cases? And then 0, you say break. 0, you have to say return or something like that, right? I don't know. How do you handle that? How do you break out of the switch statement as well as a loop without using a label, right? It's a challenge for even professional programmers.
Make sure you add a colon to end case 2.
Case 2, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
In case 0, right? This is when the user wants to quit. Okay. All right. So you want to return from main at that point. Okay. In fact, at 0, under case 0, you can actually do a cout, right? Right under case 0, you right under the case 0 colon, right on that line. Yeah. Enter. You can type cout. Thank you for playing this game. Right. Yeah. Thank you for playing this game. Bye, or something like that. It's got to be within quotes. And then you can have your return 0. Now you need an end line, right? You need an end line after that. And you need a period too, right? So put a period after the goodbye, and then put an end line at the end. Yeah, left shift. Yeah, you have the cursor on the right. No. All right, you want to put it in there? Yeah, put a backslash and then end. Backslash end. Backslash.
Oh, yeah. I got you. 1 second.
Someone say something.
Is that it?
I know. What is it? Hey, n backslash n. Yeah. Okay. At the end of the line, put a semicolon. What's on the next line? No. You already had something on the next line. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Get rid of the blank line. Return was fine. No. You had a return there. And enter return 0. And then I think for any number anything other than 1 to 0, right? Anything other than 0 to 4, we should actually tell the user, right? They had an invalid input, right? So you have to have a default. Enter. And then you go back to the same line, and then under case 0, you say on line 57. Yeah, there, line 57. There, one more backspace. No. Tab in. Yeah. Okay. Now we want to have the default. What if user choice didn't match any of those, right? Then you have to have so you say default, 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 colon. Well, on the next line, you can say cout. I'm sorry, I only understand numbers 0 to 4 or something like this. Some. No, you gotta have everything within quotes. Everything within quotes. Yeah. I'm sorry, I only understand. Yeah, 0 to 4.
I think 0. I was gonna say 1, but 0 is kind of like thank you, game over. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So 0 to 4, and no. What is the user allowed to input? The user, I don't know. You got to come up with a message. You got to come up with a message that says that you understand 0 and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Only 0 to 4 understood by me, or something like that. And I think you also need a period after I'm sorry. Yeah, I only recognize 0 to 4 through 4. Yeah, that's a good message. All right. So you need a new line. You need a new line there. Endl, left shift the endl. All right. Okay. So Isaiah likes the interpolated ones. All right. And then hey, I thought there was a couple of grammatical errors here. All right. Put a period after I'm sorry. Put a period after I'm sorry. And then recognize has to be spelled right. Yeah, so I think the G and O need to be, yeah. Okay. Recognize space numbers 0 to 4 space.
Professor?
Yeah, sure.
So for this program, the idea is that we have like a variety of games to choose from, and we're taking the user's choice and then executing the code for the specific game, correct?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
So
and then you can break out. well, just one sec, Elizabeth, if you don't mind, I just wrap this up. To Isaiah, while Isaiah is typing, we can talk. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Isaiah, after the default, we need a break statement and then close off the switch statement and then close off the main. I think that's it, right? And then we're actually ready to run. We don't have any evidence that any of these ideas ran. So if you want to go into each of those ideas and say, inside each of the functions for idea one, void idea one, you can say see out idea one was game one was played, right? Game two was played, game three was. So we know from main, we can drive it right now on here, and then actually running it once is also good because it'll save the save the source code on more machines, right? One more machine in the cloud will have the source code, and you can also get the URL right there. So run it once. I think it's fun. But you do these things while Elizabeth and I talk about this other thing. And I'll get back to this topic in a minute. Hey, Elizabeth, what was that?
So basically, if this is like the concept that we're trying to execute, like why? Like, I would think that looping would be like more superior than to the switch statement.
Oh, you mean if else would be more would be better?
Yeah, sorry. I'm kind of like thinking in terms of Python because I just like have
No.
been
What would you say? Is that you said an alternative would be superior.
Yeah. So because like my like at least my like a comprehension of the switch statement is that, or we're just testing the input like per case and then breaking once we've like found the match, correct?
Yeah.
So, but is there no looping functionality in
the looping?
this,
Is
concept?
The switch itself does not do any looping.
Exactly. So my point is, wouldn't it be superior to have the user be able to choose another game instead of just creating a sort of our program right now where we're just matching to the choice? Like, shouldn't they be able to play as many games as they want?
Absolutely. I totally agree. We're just doing something that's really, straightforward and easy. And also hopefully a not too contrived example to use the switch paradigm that, Chris brought up. Ideally, if Chris hadn't suggested switch, we would have done this using if statements, right? If input was 0, do the first game and so on and so forth and put that in a loop, right? Right now, if you look at, let Isaiah complete what he's doing now, and then we'll actually play this, right? We'll play this, and we'll see that it's actually in a loop, an infinite loop. It keeps doing this again and again, and then I could say I want to play 1, right? It plays 1. Then it'll ask me what you want to play. 2, 3, 4. You can play as many as you want, and then hit 0 and to enter the leave the arcade, right? So.
Do we have a break statement after each choice, though?
A break statement after what?
Each choice.
Did he? I thought he had a break statement already.
Yeah, well, if we have a break statement, does that stop the looping, or is it just return 0 that stops the looping?
Oh, I see. Right. So that's why I don't like to introduce switch statements to CS2A students, because you don't need switch statements, right? Python doesn't even have. Does Python have switch?
Pretty sure it's got
so, right?
I don't know if I'm there yet.
I think you can have a contrived way of
doing looping
something that does. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if you think about it, the switch statement is just syntactic sugar, right? Because whether you switch or if else or whatever it is, everything is going to get compiled into identical machine code, right? All the machine code is going to be the same. So it's just different syntactic sugar. And it's just that, I don't know, it used to be much better readable. I don't know.
Okay, I'm wrong. Python doesn't have case switch by default.
Wow. Yeah. That's why, if Chris hadn't suggested that, we would have just gone with statements.
Professor, isn't when we break out the switch statement, wouldn't go back to the while loop and just do it all over again?
Good. Let's go back to the main. Let's go and see what the main does, right? So, hey, is that a pan in your code? That's great. He's hey, I think you're missing a semicolon. No, you got all the semicolons. Oh, you're missing new lines. You're missing a new line in all those couts. So you played the game. You played the Price is Right, and then you need the new line after that. You just say slash, do the left shift and del, and then you can copy and paste it into each of those semicolons. Yeah, all right. Okay, so and then you need that in the other places too. Yeah, it's harder to get the mouse, the cursor exactly in that place.
I don't think there's any like looping functionality that we've like coded right now.
I'm pretty sure
that we
did.
have in our code, right?
No, we had looping. I'm pretty sure we had a while
Oh,
true.
we did.
I don't
there's
know.
a while
Maybe I
true
might
in your
mistake it.
main.
Did we put a while true?
You need a /n on void one.
I don't. Maybe I missed it when we.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. We'll find it. 2 minutes. We'll find out. Right. When we scroll down to main, we'll find out if we put.
Okay, we did before.
Yeah, or else you can just wrap it in a loop right now. Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Hey,
you can
did
see
you get a
the
new line
wild-
after all of those? All 4 have new lines now?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you can
there you
see
go. Hey, Elizabeth. It
line
says
38.
while true. While true.
Yeah, line
Right at the top.
38, you'll see the while true. And actually, did we put a close? Yeah, I think we did.
Did we do it? I think so.
Yeah, if we look at line 38, you can see the while loop outside of all the other statements in main.
Can we see it?
Line 38. Hey, Isaiah, run it. Click run once, so that we'll actually get the URL that other people can click on. Right. So click run. Click run. Okay, but anyway, now you can hit get URL. Get URL. Click the button called get URL. Click the button called get URL.
Oh.
It doesn't give you the URL until you get a successful compile, huh? All right, let's fix that and compile it once.
I think we forgot to close the while
Get
loop.
URL. All right,
Yeah,
so
I think
people,
we didn't close the while loop.
yeah, any of you can click on that
Yeah.
URL, cpp.sh, and then you can see that code, and all of you can edit it simultaneously. I think, right? I think we should all be able to edit it simultaneously.
We just so we have the while loop and then we enter a switch statement, but we're not breaking from the while loop.
Right.
Right.
Yes. All right. So that's why I don't.
We don't really have a looping. Like
No,
we
no,
do.
we can't. No,
we don't
it's
have it yet.
very
We
good
don't have
question.
looping yet.
Elizabeth, thank you for asking. That's a very good question, right? Because that's the reason I don't like Switch, and because for beginners, because Switch also needs a break, and then that break will interfere.
And then a
with other
break
breaks.
for the loop as well.
Yeah, it's really messy. So looping and Switch don't mix so nicely. That's why if would have been better. But we do get around that by having a return, right? We just say
At the end
return.
of line 63, hit enter.
Return is break to the power infinity. Really, right? Return is break out of
And then just put a close curly brace.
So you saw case
Great.
zero, case
It
zero,
should
has return zero.
try running it.
Then try running it now. Right? Function main. Oh, I think we are missing a semicolon. I think we missed not a semicolon. Closing brace somewhere. Go back to the main. I think we're missing something there. Go back to the main. Main. Isaiah. So
It says line 65.
I'm pretty sure while is not being closed. All right. So maybe switch is not being closed. Further down.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're missing one for switch. So
no, we got the switch. We got the switch. We're missing one for while. We're missing one for while. So we need
one for one of them.
close the while. Yeah. Close under.
So at the end of 64, hit enter. And then put another close curly brace. And it should run now.
Wait, isn't the curly bracket should be in the previous?
Oh yeah, you indented. Yeah, it's cosmetics. Let's stop it because it'll only take 1 second. Right? Hit stop once, Isaiah, please, if you don't mind. All right. So go back and fix what Elizabeth just suggested. Hit the stop button. Click the stop button. The purple stop button.
How do you stop it?
Stop
You click
on
the
the
stop button.
right hand side.
Oh, I
There's
see.
a stop.
That's it.
button.
Yeah, I got lots of going
All
on.
right, fix that issue that Elizabeth brought up. Line 64 indented in by 4 spaces. Hey, something is wrong here. No, that's right. Isn't
it the one on the line 65?
While is under the
Yeah,
I think
I
it
was
all looks
thinking-
good.
Isn't the 65 should be the while loop close bracket? So it should be.
Yeah, 65 is closing the while.
So
No, this is 65. Hey. It's messed up. Click stop. Well, let's get this right first. Click stop. Okay, so the one after default on line 64 belongs to the switch, right? So that on line 64, drag that under the switch, Drag that under the switch. That belongs to the switch. All right. So is that right? Does it match up?
Yeah, that lines up. So
Okay. The one
65
next to
just
it,
hit,
the one to that. Yeah, that is
just
the
hit
while.
delete once.
Yeah,
That's the while. That's the while. Match that up with the while.
just hit it
No.
backspace. on
Left,
the-
to the left. It needs to be under the while. It needs to be on the vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
No.
that's-
There.
Yep.
Okay, that vertical line basically is our guide. All right, now that is set up properly. If you run it now, that URL will be, which you share with everybody, will have exactly that. Okay, all right. So there you go. We got it. By the way, we haven't used arrays. We still have time, right? We have time next class and the rest of this class. We can do arrays. So, and we have other games too. So we got a lot of stuff to play around with, right? So let's say I want to play one. Yeah, two. Let's say two. All right. Let's say 9. Hey, that's cool. All right. What is 4? Did we have 4? Oh, we actually had Hangman. Okay, cool. All right, now hit 0.
And then
Thank you.
0.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Someone's got a microphone. Sure.
Dang, smart.
So I can't hear you.
What's the output for 0?
I
Okay.
can't hear you, Elizabeth.
Oh, I just wanted to see because it was cut off at the bottom, so I just wanted to see.
Oh, I see. It's not. Yeah. It's a screen size thing. Yeah. I don't know if she means the code or the output. Can you see better now, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
All right, now we can go and do what we actually started out doing. This, so far we only, and until now, there's more than half the class. We just built the framework for what we want to do, right? And this is what you'll find in real world projects too, right? So we set out trying to do something, but 99% of the time we were basically building up to do it, right? And the last a month or so, we actually put the final thing together, and that is how everything that significant happens. And so it's better to get used to it with some little game we're building in CS2A. All right, so go right to the top. We'll do option 1. This is idea 1. So let's do idea 1. Let's go to the top. And at this point, of course, Isaiah can feel free to hand over the screen to someone if you want, right? If you want, you can continue to go. Hang on, who else have we got? We got Elizabeth, and we got someone else who.
Hey, does anybody else want to go?
This is one more person, not just Elizabeth.
I can volunteer too.
No, Chris, you've already been a few times. Hey, someone else today said they wanted to go. There was Elizabeth. Oh, Ricardo, yeah, he's right there, and I was looking at him, right? So we got Elizabeth, Ricardo, we got Turkey, and then I don't know who else. And Charlie also hasn't gone, right? So
I haven't been there yet.
Who's going now?
I haven't been there yet.
Okay, so no, Jinghang, Jinghang too. But let's, but you just spoke up, right? So you're at the end of the list. Hey, what happened? Isaiah, you don't lose that URL. That URL, did you share it? That get URL, when you click that get URL, you get that link, right? Share that in the chat before you lose it. Because if you close that window, we're finished, right? And we've got to do the whole thing from scratch. Isaiah, hey, can you hear me? Does anybody have that URL that we coded?
I have it.
Oh, great, okay. All right, or we have to put that together first. All right, thank you. Yeah, 37. Hey, Isaiah, you got a different number. Oh, Turkey's got 37E66, but Isaiah is saying 7GREC.
Yeah, I got 7 GRE.
Yeah. Maybe Turkey's got the, earlier version saved or something like that.
Very,
All
very
right,
close
anyway,
to
that's the
below.
URL. You can pick that up, someone, and then we can start coding. Yeah, okay, cool, thank you. So pick up Isaiah's link, whoever is going next, and then we can start coding idea number 1. I think it's really easy to do idea number 1. And then you can do Connect 4, Tic-Tac-Toe, Hangman, all of those things. And I can help, right? If you have questions, you can discuss this in the forums. Or we can even do it next class, not an issue, right? And then I can help. But the goal is you should try and do whatever you can, try and bring to bear on the idea, embellish it in your own way, do it for your idea, right? And if we don't have enough ideas, just take the program, modify it, add in a few more ideas. And in the prompt, change the prompt to say, 0 is this, 1 is that, and so on and so forth, right? You can also say that before the user makes a choice. All these things, you play around with this for, the rest of 2A. All right, so let's see, idea number 1, the price is right. So here is the overall logic I'm thinking of. And then, well, let's put the, who is this, by the way? Who's sharing? Ricardo. All right, Ricardo, in the comment above the program, above the function, in the comment, you say, pick a random number from 1 to 10, or, pick a random number 0 to 10, and then 0 to 100, and then ask how many people are going to play, and give each person a chance to announce their name and their guess, right? So you're going to store. If let's say 5 people are going to play this game, it's going to say, player 1, what is your name? Elizabeth. What is your guess? 2455, right? Store it. Then say, player 2, what is your name? Right? Mark, what is your guess? And so on and so forth. It's going to store. So at the end, it'll have 5 players and 5 guesses, right? And it also knows the actual cost for a random number. Now it's got 2 arrays, right? And now in the second array of prices, it's going to find out the index that's got the best match to the real price, right? And using that index, it's going to find the name of the person who won the round, and it's going to say, hey, Isaiah won the prize because he guessed $14.99 and the price was $15.25 or something like that, right? And so I think it'll be fun. You can actually play this and release it too. One of the 4 games, right? You can also do Hangman like this. Well, you can do a version of Hangman without the picture, without the drawing. Although you can do the drawing, right? In Hangman, you can do the drawing with ASCII, right? O and vertical bar and those things. You can do that in Hangman. Think about how you can do Hangman with ASCII characters. So you can play that. It'll be fun. There's a scope for playing around is pretty much endless in CS2A. All right. Hey, by the way, Ricardo, even when we type comments, try it's I don't know. I don't even know if it's a worthwhile habit to continue. But see if try to keep everything under 80 columns, right? Even though we have these big ass screens now, I think people find it hard to read a long comment, right? It's easier to. I think that's why you need newspapers, right? You think about newspapers, right? If that was the case, newspapers wouldn't have these columns, right? They would just basically have one news article spanning 2 lines, bam, like that. So, so the fact they use columns is probably a good sign for us to. All right, so I can read the whole thing, and you can clean it up later, indent it properly and so on. But does it capture what we need to do? This is line. This is idea number 1, which is the price is right. Pick a random number from 0 to 100, and then how many are going to play? Yeah, okay, all right. So inside idea 1, you can clean up the comments later. Inside idea 1, let's prompt the user to enter how many players, right? Enter the number of players, and if the number of players is 0, or if it's not between 0 and 10, you should basically say, I'm sorry, I can only handle 10 players. I can only handle up to 10 players or something like that, right? So yeah, how many players, and then have a variable at the top after the opening parentheses. Hey, by the way, Isaiah, I didn't check in with him. Isaiah, was it chime in, right? And it's good to have this all on recording, because then it'll be a source of reassurance to future students too. I don't even know if these guys go and watch these videos, right? We're just recording and putting it out there, whoever, right?
The new line set is supposed to be inside the double quotes. So the backslash is supposed to be inside the double quotes.
Yeah. Thanks. Hey, Isaiah, was it useful? The fact that you actually coded live coding as opposed to watching someone code or even reading about it, did you feel that there was a difference in the rate at which you could assimilate the material if you were reading it or if someone was telling it to you or if you're doing it yourself? Can you, yeah, was that useful, better? I don't know, his microphone is switched off. Anyway, you better chime in, at least in the comments or in the forums. You should basically say, right, at least to the future students, you should make a note saying, please do volunteer, because that's the best way to learn in this class. Volunteer, because that way you can get to drive, right? Because if you enroll in a driving school and my daughter says, my instructor told me this is what I should do, this is what I should do, he never let me drive, you never learned anything, right? So you got to learn to drive on your own. And this is, and most of the other classes I see, you never get to drive. Even previously when I taught computer science, you get to drive, but you get to drive when I'm not looking, right? You get to drive in your home, right? You could get someone else to drive for you and then submit the code, and I would never know, right? So I don't have an opportunity to say, hey, here's some tricks you can try, because that's a similar situation I've seen 15 other students do. So I don't get an opportunity to do that. So that's why I decided this is much better to do, right? So live coding and also questing. We didn't used to have questing, right? Because the history of questing is really funny. It was back in 2017.
Ricardo, it's supposed to be open and close parentheses after the if, and then that's where you put.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. But I'm sorry. Let's clean it up. After num players enter. Thank you. Cursor in the right place. Enter. All right. Now enter num players. Don't have a new line after the question mark. After the question mark, just a space is fine. Right? Just a space after the question mark. Yeah, so that you can accept the number on the same line. Yeah, okay. And CN num players. Now on the next line, after CN, after the CN, right? Yeah, enter one more time. Now you got the number of players. So yeah, what I'm doing basically is just separating it into paragraphs so that each chunk you can basically see, and that's what it does. That's what it does, right? So all right, next line, enter. And also num players. There's no curly brace after num players, right? So get rid of the curly brace after num players on line 20. Don't get rid of the entire line, just the curly brace. Yeah, all right, good. Go back to where you were. Again, lots of things you're doing, and I say don't do it and do it that way. You have to remember that these are not requirements of C++. Okay, I don't know. You got to draw the line between many of these things that I say do it that way, do it this way. It's just my personal taste. Right? So since you're coding and I'm talking you through it, I say don't do this or space here and there. Just my personal taste, not enforced by C++. Right? You can develop your own taste as long as it's consistent. It's the same. You follow the same thing everywhere. Your code will look good. I think. Right? So so just excuse me when I say go back and do the space and things like that. It's just easier for me. Right? So you have to give me the.
It's for aesthetics, right? So it looks better.
Yeah. It just looks better. But
well,
for me,
like if you get into the habit of making things like uniform and doing the same thing every time, and also it just looks cleaner. You don't want to send something to like your internship interviewer like on your application that's very messy. So establishing like good habits and practices now. I actually disagree, Professor. I think it's very important. I don't think it's just something that is unique to you.
No, I'm saying it is important. It's important.
Ricardo?
But it's your own style is important. But
you're right.
It's true. But you can't be crazy, right? Like you have to be consistent at the very least.
But most of all, other than just presenting your code to other people, it'll just speed up your own development process, right? Because unless you have a consistent style, it's like if you have the same set of clothes, you don't have to think about deciding what to wear each day, right? So you just pick it up and wear it, and you can go about do what you want to do, and that way, I think of it that way. Once you develop a consistent habit, you can assign it to a machine. Right? It goes back to the same point we're trying to make all through CS2A, right? Our entire life revolves around what can we automate, right? What can we give to a machine some automated process, even if that process is just a subconscious process inside my brain, some batch of neurons that doesn't require my conscious attention focused on it can go and do it. That's fine, right? So all through life, we're just thinking of what can we automate, right? What can just happen without my conscious involvement? Let it happen so that I can just be conscious and happy. So that's what we're trying to do. And that's, a facet of that is in computer science or any programming, any art really, is just bringing this consistency that Elizabeth's talking about, right? Once you're consistent, you can just automate it. Right? You put it on autopilot and then you can focus on what you actually want to do. And programming, it's just the logic of it, right? That's what we want to sink our teeth into. So we say, we want to think about the logic. Let's take, all those other things taken care of. And all these things do a great job for us, right? So like, C++ shell, you look at this, it's not even a full-fledged IDE. Right? It's just you just went to Google and browse and went to and even that provides basic niceties for us, like, coloring and then indentation, automatic indentation, right? All of that is just built into JavaScript. It's not even inside of a sophisticated IDE, right? Although, JavaScript IDE is like the Chrome development environment for JavaScript, right? This is very, very professional. And you get all the features that you get in a full-fledged IDE. Like that. So all of that is possible. And, the programmers come to the rescue of programmers, right? How much, right? Like the programmer is having fought with and struggled with all these things that get in the way of true programming enjoyment, have devised these incredible tools like IDEs and all these things so that our pain points can be addressed by mindless automata. And then we as programmers don't have to worry about this, and we can just sit and think about what needs to be done, right? And eventually that's where programming is going, right? Programming itself as a field, eventually we use C++, and I'm pretty sure it's never going to lose its fancy and things like that. But eventually, I'm pretty sure we'll come to a stage where we should just be able to think up a solution and then have that assembled for us, right? And there will be a specialized programming language. Maybe one of you will design it, right? So in the future, a specialized programming language, which does not actually require the primitive motions that we're going through right now in order to create something beautiful, right? So, all right, so if non-players, all right, so let's go back to that if statement that you have on line 23 and put that on the next line. So it's a different paragraph, right? Put it on the next line. Yeah, all right, and after the if, open a parentheses, open a parentheses after the if. Yeah, space. All right, so get rid of the space there. If non-players is less than 1, is less than 1. Yeah, less than sign, less than 1, or and then after less than 1, less than space 1 space 1 space 1 space. Yeah, before the 1 space. Yeah, all right, and after the 1, yeah, or vertical bar. Here is, I think it's the first time we're using a conjunction, right? Conjunction or it's called a disjunction. Where the first time we're combining two conditional statements to give another conditional, right? So that's the first.
It's 2 vertical bars.
2 vertical bars, right? The single is actually, unfortunately, this I won't complain. Right, because a single is also a valid C++ operator. It's a binary operator, not a Boolean operator. So, all right, or num-players greater than, how many do we have? 10, right? Num-players greater than 10, or num-players. Oh, no, you can't say, yeah, so coming from a mathematics background, you'll tend to do that. No, but you'll say num-players greater than 10, right? And num-players, you have to say num-players. Greater than 10, right? Yeah, space before the 10, and then close the parentheses. Close the parentheses after the 10, right? On the next line, you already have a brace, right? Go after the brace. Is that a brace or yeah, it's a brace, all right? Yeah. Now you say see out. The number of players needs to be between 1 and 10, right? So see out, and then just say see out.
So inside the curly bracket.
Inside the curly brace, inside on line 26. I think it's indented 2, 4. Yeah. Okay. See out left shift, space left shift. No, space left shift. No, you got right shift there. Left shift. Space. Yeah. All right. And then within quotes, what is it? Number of players needs to be between 1 and 10. And then and /n for the new line, or you can say double less than, double, left shift, quote, yeah, all right. Cool. And get rid of the space before the slash n because you'll never see it, right? It's all right, and then semicolon after that, semicolon after that. On the next line, you basically say return, and that's it. You're done, right? Your function is, because number of layers needs to be. All right. Now you don't need the else at all, because if returns, if you haven't returned, then you're automatically, you're else. So this is a trick that lots of programmers employ to reduce on the indentation load, because every time you indent, it's also cognitive load, right? Because every time you indent, you know in your mind that you're 10 levels in. Then cognitively you're thinking, oh well, before I'm done, I got to jump back, I got to finish all these conditions. So you're deep in the trenches there. So this is one of the tricks that programmers use to reduce the level of indentation, is that whenever you have a continue, return, or something like that, that says if return, then I don't need an else and indent everything else in. Right, I can just go here because automatically that is the else. I don't know if that makes sense, but you'll, once you start getting into lots and lots of indentation, you'll start. I'm pretty sure you'll start appreciating it. All right. No. You again, after return, nothing gets executed. That's it. After return, it just returns. Right. No. Yeah. Triple. 3 clicks on the line. 3. No. Actually, if you did 3 clicks, it'll also get rid of the new line. Now you got to backspace all the way and get rid of the new line. All right. Oh, semicolon. All right. Okay. I see. That's what I thought. It's only indented two spaces, not 4. Right before the C out and the return, you only got 2 spaces. It's got to be 4.
Where right here?
Yeah, and also the C out.
The C out. Okay.
Yeah, 2 more and then 2 more after that. Under that. Okay. All right. Now let's get out of the if statement. Now we are in the game, right? So now what we want to do is loop for the number of players. So what we want to say is for n equals 0, n less than number of players, n plus plus. Okay. For open quote, whatever that thing is, open parentheses, left parent. Yeah. Okay. For int n equals 0. No. For. You had it right. 4. Yes. Space. For 4 and then open parentheses. Int. Yeah, we'll clean it up. All right. Yeah. Int space n space equals 0 semicolon, right? Semicolon space and say no, not return space. Yeah. Now say n less than num players.
And less than.
You got greater than. So you got to get less than. Semicolon space n plus plus. Okay, and then close the parentheses, and then space, and then open your brace, curly brace, space, and then open curly brace. Yeah, okay, all right, next line. See, that's why 4 is also intended in 1 space. 4 is 1 space extra. No, the F for 4 starts 1 space to, yeah, there's 1 space.
Shouldn't 4 be lowercase? And
yeah, 4 should be lowercase. Thank you. 4 should be lowercase, and also it's 1 space in. It's 1 space too much. Not there. Before the FOR, there's 1 space. No, but that also that, right? That's fine. Yeah, get rid of the space. Get backspace there. All right. Now get rid of the space before int also. Yeah, also before int. Right. Okay. All right. So
you want a space right here?
You can put the space there if you want. Okay, good. That looks much better. Okay, enter after the last. Yeah, enter that. All right, now put a closing brace right there, so we won't run into the same problem we ran into before. So we know it's all matched up, and now we can flesh out the body of the 4. Right, put a closing brace. All right, now go to the previous line and hit enter. Now that's the body. That's where the game logic needs to reside. Okay, so here now put a comment there saying get the name and the guess from. No. The first thing we need to do is before we even enter the for loop, we need to pick our random cost. Right. So before you enter the for loop. On line 20, yeah, on line 20, hit enter. No. Why are you moving away from line 20? You are already on line 20.
29.
Line 20.
No,
oh, I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I'm so sorry, Ricardo. Right? Yeah, I should wear the double glasses, right? So that's much better for me. Wow. Okay. Now everybody's in telescope mode.
I'm not wearing my glasses either.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. Great. Wow, I can actually see what the program does. All right, so in plus plus. All right, yeah, but put a blank line before the random because that's also the new paragraph, right? Enter, enter. All right, so now you say int space random cost equals or secret cost. We'll just say not random, right? Secret cost, secret underscore cost equals no space. You got a minus there. Space equals. Space. Now, what we want to do is pick a random number from 0 to 1,000 and divide by 100, right? So that we get a dollars and a cents there. Okay. So random. No, you can't say it. So you have to say rand, and then rand open close. That is a way we pick a random number. Yeah. And then usually I don't have a space after the rand. So you say rand and then open close immediately. That's our random number. Yeah. Rand. Yeah. Right. Okay. Space. Percent 1,000 and percent 1,000, right? Percent space 1,000. So that gives us a random number between 0 and 999. Now put the whole thing, right? Rand percent 1,000. Put the whole thing inside of parentheses. Now that we want to divide by 100.0 so that we get. So the left hand side should be float, right? So right. No, it's a forward slash, not backward slash, right? A semicolon there. Semicolon. Yeah, all right, forward slash 100.0, semicolon there, semicolon, and then turn at the beginning when you have int secret cost, turn that into float, right? Turn that into float. Or actually, better thing to do. Here's a better thing to do. Leave that as int, right? Here, this is my preference also, right? Anytime. Maybe because I've done a lot of work in signal processing where floating point calculations are expensive, right? You can think about it, right? Floating point, the algorithm for floating point is also more expensive, right? So what we try and do in one of the research projects we had at SRI was back in the day when speech recognition was very, very compute intensive, right? It's because it takes a lot of computation to recognize speech. In fact, we had a conference where we say, at a beach, and we said how to recognize speech, right? And then someone said, when you actually recognize that, it says how to recognize beach, right? And that's what happened to the beach after the conference. The beach got totally wrecked, and so it's because everybody was trying to recognize speech, right? And it's funny. Anyway, so because it's very computation intensive, all the algorithms out there. Very slow, because they were doing a lot of floating point calculations. So at SRI, we developed a version of the recognizer which did not require floating point calculations. Everything could be done using integers, right? And we called it Dynaspeak, and it was a beautiful piece of work at that time. Really everything was beauty at the time it happened, right? There we came up with ways in which a lot of operations that we do in the floating point space didn't have to be done in floating. We can actually do that in integer space and get the required level of precision required to make the right decisions. Right. And so again, going back to the case where we're trying to oversolve, right? Because a lot of technology out there is oversolving what needs to be solved. And therefore, they're putting more and more computing resources on it to get what they need and even more, which they're not even using. Right. So by figuring out what you need and what you don't need, you can put all the computing resources to bear on just what you need. Right. So and that is exactly what happened. If you abstract everything out, that's exactly what happened. Right. Because a lot of computing was happening in floating point space, but we were not even using the benefits of the increased precision that floating point was given us. Right. So we say, well, is there a way we can make everything happen in integer space? Right. And because integer space is so much easier, right? Integers we can also relate to, we can also visualize to, right? So that's why, so because of that, maybe a long story, right? Because of that, I've also gotten to have a bias, right? I've gotten a bias, mental bias to say that if something can be done using integers, just do it using integers. Right? Unless you have to go to floating point or double precision, don't go to, because it's uncountable, right? So reals and integers. So anytime. Yeah. Well, these are just notes. You don't have to get it. Yeah, don't have to have those comments, right? It just distracts from the purpose of the game, right? So in secret cost, let's not divide by 100. So we'll keep everything in cents. So if we keep everything in cents, we don't have to go to floating point space, right? So we'll just divide. Don't divide by 100. Right? Secret cost in cents, right? Secret cost in cents, right? So cost underscore in cents. After cost, a semicolon, yeah. After cost, just say cost in cents. So we have the cost in cents now. So now we're going to, but the users will give us the cost in Yeah, also maybe we can ask the users to give us a custom. We can change that, right? You can the UI for it. You can change it later on, right? So we'll make the users also give us a cost and cents, and then we can change it later on. Okay, cost and cents. All right. Now inside the for loop, so you say get the name and the guess from the first user. Okay. So put in within comments, say get the name and the guess from this player. Guess, G-U-E-S-S. G-U-E-S-S. Hey, now we also get a chance to use the array. Good, because we're in a loop, right? So good. I was worried that we may not have to use an array because we can just find the mean and min dynamically, right? Oh, you can still do it, but we'll put an array. All right, so get the name and the guess from this player. Okay, now you say cout, what is your name, right? What is your name, and get the name, and then you need a variable, right? So you need a variable right at the beginning of the for loop. As soon as you enter the for loop, you need two variables, right? You need a string username as user underscore name, another variable user underscore guess, right? So you need the string username, semicolon, yeah, and then int user guess, underscore guess, right? And then get the comment you have above that and put it under that, right? Because you haven't declared, yeah. Triple click there, triple click. Here, try that, triple click. No, don't do anything, triple click. Oh, no, not 4, 3. Okay, now hit Control X or Command X or whatever it is to cut. Okay, now it's cut it and put it in your clipboard, but included the new line. Okay, now go where you want and paste it. No, you pasted it inside. You should paste it at the beginning of the line. All right, get it back to the beginning of the int, under the int, and then have a blank line before that. Hit enter. That's fine. Just backspace a couple of times. Great. Okay. Now get the name and guess from this user, right? So you say, yeah. So cout, left shift, and then within quotes say player hash mark, space hash mark. All right, and then close quote, and then space left shift. What is it? What is your loop counter? Say n+1 within quote, n+1 within quote. n+1. No, left shift is double. You got to get in the habit, right? Because less than is syntactically right. Your compiler might pass it and your code might crash, right? So left shift. Okay, left shift. Within not within quotes, within parentheses say n+1. Within parentheses n+1. n+1 and close that. And then next left shift again. Left shift. And then open quote. And then say colon space. Not colon space or space dash. I think space dash looks dash, not slash, dash, space, enter your name. I think enter your name, colon, space, within quote. Enter your name, colon, space, and then close quote, and then semicolon. Right, so you can picture it, right? So this is the host saying, the drum roll and the enter your name, player number 1, right? So that you can have audio. If you're doing this in JavaScript, maybe that's the time you play audio and so on, right? So all right, so next line. Now you can see in into username. Cin right shift to username.
Wouldn't get line be better for this?
Absolutely, right? I didn't want to go into that because that's like another 20 minutes of talking.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. If we have actually done entire dedicated lectures on why getLine is a whole lot better than Cin to use when getting user input, right? Maybe it was in last quarter. In fact, if you go to last quarter's CS2A lectures and look at some of the early user input lectures that we had, we would see very good reasons why Cin should not be used. We should use getLine when we use, in user interaction. So I encourage you totally, to link to that video even in, right? You can say in the forums saying, hey, we did the game using Cin input, but this video, which was a lecture from last quarter, tells us that, it would have been much better if we'd used getLine instead of Cin. So yeah. So no, just use cin for now, right? We're just because the user could go wrong in a lot of ways, right? Because they could not even enter a number. When you expect a number, they could enter a text, right? So this program is not at all robust. It is a very fragile program which can be easily broken by any user, right? When we expect a number, you enter a text and it's all crashed, right? So in order to make the program bulletproof, a whole lot needs to get done. User input needs to be sanitized. So every time a user inputs something, it needs to be untainted. You look at the input, does it make sense? Is it a number, and so on. You can mess with cout and cin, which are global for, give it to the user and say, well, type in whatever you want, right? Because they're global. So you got to get things into your own stream and then give, all that needs to be done so we're not doing any of that. But there is an entire class. I spent a whole a whole class talking about this. And that's why I know. That's why I know that if those are treacherous waters, right? If I dip my toes into that, basically that's a half hour gone down the tubes right there, right? So that's why we're just using cin. Does that answer your question, Chris? All right, so please enter a guess from no, 0 to 1,000, 0 to 1,000 cents, 0 to 1,000 cents, and then colon space, quote and close it there, and then accept the guess. No. This is a semicolon right there. This is a type of semicolon, right? Semicolon. Yeah, get rid of the space before the semicolon. Yeah, all right, enter. Now cin, right shift into user guess. User underscore guess, right? So so far you have a tendency to confuse between less than and greater than and the shift operators, okay? And also underscore and dash, right? Underscore and dash, not so dangerous, because syntactic errors and compiler will pick up. Underscore is not really an operator, but both of the other ones are operators, right? If you make those errors, the compiler won't have you back there. All right, good. So well, sometimes it does. I see. And all right, now you've got the username and the user guess, but you got to put it somewhere, right? Because you're going to go through all 5 players, right, and ask each one of them. So you got to put them all somewhere before you start processing them, right? Where do you put them? What are you going to do is that we're going to create an array of that many players, right? And we're going to put the names and the scores, their guesses, into parallel locations in the array, right? So here's what we're going to do. Before the if statement, right, after the int secret cost, go to the end of the secret cost line, and end of that line, end of line 30, hit enter. Okay, now here's what we're going to do, right? So we say we're going to create an array of 5. What is it? How many users?
10.
Is it 10? No, number of players.
Right, yeah, 1 through.
No, number of players. Okay, it's going to be a variable. All right. I'll talk about native arrays next class on Thursday. Today we'll use vectors, right? Which is a sophisticated form of arrays, right? It's a slightly sophisticated form of arrays. Arrays wrapped inside of an object. It's going to be easier for us to use today. So we'll use arrays, vectors instead of arrays. Next class, if someone reminds me, I'll talk about the relation between arrays, native arrays in C++, blindingly fast, direct access to memory, right? That and vectors, I'll tell you what the difference is. But for today, let's just say vector.
Professor, why wouldn't it be a good idea to use make an array and just make it the size of number of players?
Because num players is not known to you until runtime.
Oh, okay, so but
num players get entered, yeah, because we ask the user, right? If we've decided beforehand, before the game starts, if we know that it's going to be a 10-player game, then you could use native arrays because you know the fixed size. You know it's 10, right? If it's 10, you can tell the compiler, give me a native array that's 10 integers big. It's 40 bytes, bam, like that. Right?
Okay.
But if you tell it, oh yeah, compiler, give me some memory for an array of ints, and the compiler says, yeah, sure, how many ints do you want to store? And the compiler, and you tell the compiler, well, I don't know how many ints because the number of ints will only be known during runtime. The compiler says, yeah, sure, then ask the runtime system to help you. I can help you. Right?
But aren't we getting it after the if statement?
Yes,
but
it'll only know we'll only get it after the if statement when the program is run,
okay, I see what you,
right?
yeah,
Not
okay,
when the program is written,
yeah.
not even when the program is
Yeah.
compiled. When it's run. So the difference between runtime and compile time, that's the difference between runtime and compile time. right? So some things are not known until compile time, runtime. So then it is better to use what is called a dynamic data structure. A dynamic data structure is something that comes into life and dies while the program is running. Right? A static data structure is something that you build in, you bake into the program, and it's living on disk. It's right there. Bam. When the program loads into memory, it's there. This is a static data structure. So dynamic data structures are more powerful because they can come and go. As you know, you can come and go. Like sprites in your game, right? They just create them. It's not loaded. Okay, all right. Vector. Okay, so here, vector is a complex. It's a non-trivial class. So just let's just follow my syntax here, and I won't go into the explanation of this, right? But it'll all make sense later on. So you know what you type was right. Vector, angle bracket, left. Angle bracket means left, less than. Angle bracket, and then no space between the vector and the less than. No, yeah. All right, and inside there you say string. That means give me an array of strings, right? And then close the angle bracket. Right? Space, names or player names, or player underscore names, and then within parentheses give it the number num underscore players. And then semicolon after that, right? Now there's a few things we need to do. We'll tidy up, right? So semicolon right there, and then get rid of the space before the, after num players you have a space. After num players, no, after player names, you got a space, yeah, right? So that's one unit. All right, on the next line, you say vector. In fact, copy the whole line. Triple click on the line, and triple click on that line. Triple click, three clicks. Now Command C and then Command V 2 times. Two times. All right. Now change the string. No. Command Z. All right. Now change the second string into int. Double click on string. Yeah. Double click on int. Right. Now double click on names. Yeah. And change that into guesses. Yeah. Guesses. All right, so now in order for this to work, we need to tell the compiler, I'm using a class called vector, and it is not a trivial class that a compiler knows about. It's a header file, it's defined by the inventors, it's out there, right? So go right to the top of the file, very top of the file, right? And under hash include string, you say hash include vector. Right, so that says, I'm going to use the vector class. Okay? And then I usually have a blank space after that because the namespace spaces are separated from the previous section. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now go back to where you were. Now we have this vector, right? So now we have gone through in that loop. We have asked each of those n players, right? Assuming n player, num players, right? Each of those players, you ask the name, ask the guess, and taken it and put it into the array. Yes. Now at the end of the for loop. Right now, at the end of get rid of the loop. Right, get rid of the blank line after before you close the for loop. Yeah, go to the end. Go to the end of the for loop. Go to the end of get rid of the blank line. Right, get rid of it. Right, one more. Okay, now we've gone in that loop. We've gone ask the user for the name, ask the guess. Right, put it in that box. Right, name, guess, next box, and so on. So now at the end, enter a couple of times. Right now we're going to insert a comment that is just going to help students, right? Comment, / at this space at this point, our vectors, actually just say arrays. No, don't say vectors. Our arrays. What is it? What do we call those arrays? Player names and player guesses. What do we call them?
Yeah.
Player underscore name. Names. I think it was plural, right? Names. And
let me check.
And player guesses.
Oh yeah, player guesses.
And player guesses. Okay. R. Next line. Right. Enter. And then for quote again. The comment again. You're continuing the comment. Right. Space. R. Parallel to each other, right? And parallel to each other is we have two vectors that are parallel to each other. That means that the corresponding indexes store related information. That's what it means. Now, parallel vector using parallel vectors in a C++ program is a bad idea, right? It's a bad idea. Whenever you have parallel structures in a program, that is a suggestion to you that the two things that are parallel to each other really needs to be a single object, right? It needs to be a player object that has both things inside of it. That's a suggestion. But because we haven't talked about objects so far, we're using this ugly thing called parallel vectors, two things that need to be exactly lined up against, next to each other. And this is an ugly construct. Think about it, right? Because even if one of them is, slightly off, everything is gone, right? So they both need to be aligned with each other so that index 5 here means the same as index 5, the index 5 is the fifth player, right? Right? They need to be parallel to each other. One of them is, right? So, but we are going to use it because we are not using it, right? Parallel to each other and a space and contain the respective players' names and scores, names and guesses. Right? Now, on the next line, what we want to do is give it a blank line, one more blank line after that, and open a comment, because we're going to say what we're going to do and then we'll do it, right? This is a lot easier, right? Now, space. Now, we make an array of num player, num underscore player, deltas, where a delta equals delta equals, yeah, no, the delta is, yeah, is, and next line, go to the next line. The difference between the user's guess and the actual cost and the secret cost. Does that make sense? The absolute difference. I should say the absolute difference. The absolute difference. Well, you didn't have to delete the whole thing. You could just click there and type the word absolute in there. Between the user's guess and user apostrophe s. Oh, you don't have to delete everything. All right. Okay. User. Oh, well, Well, I mean, so you got to fix up the grammar there. The apostrophe has to go before the s, right? Actual cost, because we're using singulars, right? A delta. Yeah, user stands. Okay, all right. Now let's do another for loop right there. Enter. Let's do a type for loop. In fact, copy, triple click on line 37, triple click and copy that down here. Triple click on there. Okay, and copy that here. On line 54. And on line 54, before line 54, the previous line, say vector. Enter. Yeah, so it's a vector, deltas, space. Oh, no, it has to be a vector of ints, right? Vector of ints, angle bracket ints. But no, it has to be within angle brackets. Right now, so Ricardo's getting the hang of it now, right? Just using templates and C++ vector classes. It's kind of cool, right? So when you start typing, it's deltas, and then it has to be num players. The size of it is num players, right? So say open parentheses, num players, close parentheses. Is everybody following along? I sometimes it feels like it's just me and Ricardo.
Is that okay? How I wrote it?
Yeah, I have a semicolon and a semicolon in space.
Easy peasy. I think I get it. The deltas is a little confusing though.
You sure? Are you saying that facetiously, Isaiah, or do you really mean it?
No, I really do get it. Yeah, I'm serious.
All right. Well, anything that's confusing, you guys have to ask in the forums or elsewhere, right? You even ask under the comments in this video. That's fine. All right. All right. Now, put the closing brace. Yeah, closing brace there, and then we'll fill out the body of the for loop. Right. Put the closing brace there. The closing. Yeah. All right. Now go to the previous line and enter. Right. Now all we want to say is deltas of n, deltas square bracket n, n. Yeah. Equals. I think, well, let's just use the absolute function, right? Because otherwise, in fact, no, let's not use the absolute function, right? Here's what we're going to do. We'll do the absolute by hand, okay? So equals, what is it? Secret cost minus, was it secret cost? What was it?
It is secret cost.
Yeah, secret cost.
Oh, secret cost and cents.
A secret cost in cents. Minus player, what is it? What do we call it?
Player guess.
Player guesses.
Oh, user guess.
No, it's player guesses. Player guesses. Square
Oh, yeah.
bracket. Square bracket n.
Guesses.
Square bracket n. Right now, this could be positive or negative, but we want the absolute value, right? Semicolon there. Semicolon there. Semicolon. Next line. Next line. Now you're going to have an entire if statement on one line. Okay, this is an idiom. It's not common, but it's an idiom, but it's worth remembering. All right. If deltas of n is less than 0, if deltas within the condition always has to be within quotes, within parentheses, right? If open parentheses, yeah. If deltas of n less than 0 is less than 0. 0, yeah, okay. Now close that space. Deltas of n equals negative deltas of n. So that will basically flip the sign, right? If it's negative, it makes it positive. So we have the absolute difference. So if you're off by 10 cents on this side or that side, it doesn't make any difference. All right, equals negative delta of n. If equals negative minus deltas of n. No, only one minus. Only one minus. It means take deltas of n and negate it. That's it. Deltas of n. Semicolon. All right. Okay. Good. Now, our array deltas has a vector of n items, each of which is how far out the person is from the actual cost. Yes or no?
Professor, I have to go, but thank you so much for today.
Why don't we take this on next class, right? So we carry next class. If you guys can feel free to finish it off too. Well, I didn't realize it was past 10 o'clock already. So that's fine. Thank you so much for sticking around, and thanks for this class. Ricardo, thank you so much for and maybe Elizabeth or someone else could pick up this code next class and then start, maybe work on the next idea.
Thank you,
guys should feel free to work on the next other ideas too. Yeah.
Do you know if it'll save the URL?
Hey, yeah, thank you. All right. You should be able to run it now and share the URL, okay? Run it now, share the URL. Before you do anything, just hit Control A, Command A, put it in your clipboard, right? Put it in your clipboard. Command C and put it in your clipboard. Okay, now even if the browser crashes or anything, you still have it in your clipboard, okay? All right, now you can do, run it and, share the URL with your classmates. Okay, now you can get the URL and share it. I think that's the URL that everybody should have. Yeah, 7C6 RM, is it? RM, is it? Yeah, 7C6.
7C6. 7.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience and waiting past the end of class and all. Wow, that was really cool. But thank you so much. I think we came really close. We came really close to finishing it up.
Does it come on?
All right. Can I there's a lot of chat messages I haven't seen, but thanks. Well, basically just thanks. All righty. I will see you guys in a couple of days on Thursday. Okay. Bye.
Professor, may I have a quick question about the quest?
Yeah, sure.
So the first mini quest is the draw the cat, and I came out the correct outcome, but it keeps giving me a message saying something about the second mini quest, and didn't give. And I think I was somewhere wrong in the first mini quest.
I don't know. Is it producing output at all?
Wait.
Yeah. So this is the comment I got, and.
Oh, I see.
But actually, I'm giving the.
Oh yeah, it didn't. Oh, I see. The second one didn't compile. All right, I forgot it was multiple files. Yeah. So you didn't submit limerick as CPP. You didn't drag it in.
I need to drag everything.
Yeah.
At the same time. Oh, I see.
Actually, click on program specs. Click on program specs at the top of this file, of this page. Top of the page. Right at the top of the page. Right, click there. All right, now go right to the bottom of the spec. All right, go all the way to the bottom. All the way.
Oh,
all right. What does it say? Hang on. I need to zoom in. Not there. Hang on.
It is very small.
What does it say?
Enter.
You have 3 CPP files.
I see.
Drawcat.cpp, limerick.cpp, and etox.cpp.
I see. I got it.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Okay, all right. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys day after tomorrow. All right.
Wait.
What?
I had a question. Can I talk to you? Said after class.
Sure. No worries. You want to go after class or now?
Oh, now I thought we were done.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
Have a good one.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
It's
Bye.
going well. Can I get a separate room? All these people.
Well, wait for a few minutes and people will be gone. Let's see. There's going to be some kind of breakout room.
Okay. I'm discussing my personal business.
Oh,
Breakout room.
I was going to ask something about
good,
one
Mark.
of the quests.
Okay, cool. I reviewed with Mark, and I feel comfortable enough to take the quiz again. So I just wanted to go over that with you. That's why I want to talk, Professor. I just don't want anybody else in here to listen.
Oh, I see. But you want to go over the quiz questions with me?
No. I said I feel comfortable and comfortable enough to take it now.
Oh, you are. Great.
Yeah.
You want to take it now or later today?
I was going to give you.
Is it okay? I can take it by Thursday just to review a little bit more, so I can feel a little bit more confident.
No, but what is Mark? You had something to say?
Oh, I was going to say, did you want to wait until you get those practice questions from me so you can?
Yeah.
Sure.
Everybody's got to help, right? Thursday, just send me a good time, Isaiah, right? Find a time when you won't be disturbed and let me know. Is it 2 hours?
Okay, I will. Okay, thank you. And Mark, if we could review just a little bit more, maybe by Wednesday, that'll help out a lot. If you have some time for me.
Yeah, we'll talk about some on Wednesday, actually.
Okay, for sure. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. I'll see you on Thursday. Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
I was going to say
Bye.
one last
sure.
question about the. Where is the? Hold on a sec. Here we go. So this is the return for one of, I think it's quest 4. And what I'm supposed to get is this, but instead I have a weird blank region, which is really frustrating because when I test it,
you didn't print the line, you entered 3. It just says that is missing, and on the right we have that.
thing is that when I do it manually, when I test it myself, I don't have this issue.
It looks like you're printing an extra blank line before the first entry, I guess, and you're printing nothing for the last line. So I think you're one off there. You got to make sure that you only submit, you only enter. When you run it, you only enter the numbers and then hit Control D to end your input. It should immediately print the last one. And it looks like yours is not printing the last one.
Yeah. Well, on the test output, it's not printing the last one when I submit it. But when I'm testing it in command line, it doesn't have that issue. It prints it just fine.
Well,
you can tell because I've gotten to the last of the chances to guess, and it shows it. So I'm just.
Well, it does look like a bug to me, Mark. It does look like you're one off there inside the loop. We've got to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
You guys, I think you got to step through it. That's the only way.
It just seems like one of those things where there might be a command line situation going on.
No, it's exactly the same for everyone. Your code is being invoked the exact same way as my reference code is.
Also, I know there's a warning about size T. Oh wait, no, I already resolved the other ones. This I'm not really sure what's going on with that one.
Oh, you're using 2 variables that you're not actually. You declared 2 that you're not using. Well, I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, it's just curious because. Anyways, thank you.
Yeah.
I figured it was off by one issue, but I just can't see where it is when I. Oh, that's right. You're not seeing. Hold on. Let me change your share screen to.
No. I can't see your code.
portion. No, it's not about the code. It's
Oh, your output?
yeah, this is the actual, like when I'm testing it myself, you can see here that I don't have an off by one issue.
No, I don't know. Maybe you.
Because it seems like it's terminating the game before you get to the last entry.
Yeah, I'm almost. Yeah, almost certain it's something to do with the way that you're accepting input and printing things. I mean, if you still can fix it by the end of this week, let me know. I'll take a look at this code.
Okay.
Or in a couple of days, let me know.
Yeah,
Right,
sounds
but
good.
look in the sequence of input and output. I'm pretty sure you'll find it there.
All right, thank you.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.